Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I appreciate you guys bearing with me during the reschedule also. Today, we're going to do a little orientation. We're going to be talking about your role, your responsibilities, your perks, all that type of stuff to help you as a new leader. The first thing that I want to start out with, first off, is congratulations again. I'm so excited to have all of you on our leader team. We want to talk about what do you need to do to maintain leadership and be paid at every single month, and that should be your goal, to never miss being paid at leader. And what do you need to do to move to the next level? So first off, one thing that you'll hear me talk about a lot, I know Barb's in Promote with Passion right now, and I hope Renee, you and Spencer will be able to do it this next go round. And is me plus 3. And when I talk about me plus 3, I talk about me plus 3 new recruits every month, me plus 3 parties on our calendar every week. And that makes for a very, very strong leader. I know a lot of people will say I can't do 3 parties a week. It's too much. It doesn't fit into my schedule. And I totally understand that you do have to work with your schedule. But I'm going to talk about kind of the best case scenario. That way, that's what we want you to strive for. Of course, you could do more than that as well, but if you do 3 parties a week, you're meeting enough people every week to make sure that you get at least 3 recruits every month. You have a training ground. I promise you, once you start doing 3 parties a week, you'll realize how much time you save on the telephone, because you'll have enough parties to book all your parties at. You'll have enough places to recruit. You'll have enough places to take your new chocolatiers to train. That's very, very important, is that you are that you're getting trained, and that they're seeing that. So when you keep that in mind, you'll find that you really spend less time working your business doing more parties, because you're not chasing people down as much. So by doing that, by having 3 every month, you're always going to be in a position, 3 new recruits and 3 parties each week, that you're always going to be able to maintain your minimums on your own. So as a leader, to be paid as a leader each month, you just need to do what you did to get to leader. So you need to have 3 active personal recruits each month, and 600 in PV and 1,500 in GV. So PV being personal volume, GV being group volume. Now, I'm a real believer that we own our own minimums. That way, we're not counting on someone else, which what I mean by that is I'm going to recruit 3 new people every month. So I always have 3 active recruits. That way, if somebody from last month doesn't do anything, I'm not worried about it. But I'm also growing my team and making more money and getting to higher levels of leadership and management. I'm going to own that 600 in PV, but I'm going to own the 1,500 in GV also. That way, if no one else doesn't do or something comes up, I'm owning my own destiny. I'm going to have my 600, I'm going to have my 1,500 all myself. And by doing, 2 to 3 parties a week, you're going to have that no problem. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about today that a lot of people get confused is active versus qualified. Does everyone know the difference between active and qualified?
Isn't qualified just 100 every month?
Now, let's talk to you about qualified and active then. So, qualified is a promotional term. We can change the rules around qualified anytime we want. So right now, for Quick Start, to be qualified, you need $200 in sales, and you're a qualified recruit in Quick Start. So for me to get my bonus in Quick Start, if I recruit you, for me to get my $100, or my new recruit to get their $100 if they're in their first 90 days, they all they have to do is sell $200. But for Sweet Shop and for Maui, if you remember, qualified was $500, because qualified is a promotional term. We can change that anytime we want. Active is a career plan term. Okay, so when you think about our career plan, each month you need 3 active chocolatiers. And Barb, I think this is where you're going, but I still want, this is really important that you catch up on this. Active is not 100 every month. active is a total of 400 in a 3-month period.
Oh.
So it's going to roll. So everybody you bring in, this is an interesting thing though, so everybody hang with me on this. Everybody you bring in is active their first month because they don't have 3 months to add together, whether they sell 0 or whether they sell 1,000. They're active month 1 and they're active month 2. Now, that's not 90 days. If you recruited them on March 30th, March was month 1. They were active for you in March. No, that's good because that means you can bring someone in on the last day, and they can, if you need an active recruit, right? So that's good. So March, they were active. April, they're going to be active. By the end of May, though, they would need a total of $400 in sales to count as one of your 3 active chocolatiers. Okay? So it's really important to understand that the qualified versus active. So for the career plan, you need 3 active chocolatiers. Does anybody have a question on that, or does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay, Spencer, let me take you off mute. All right, go ahead, Spencer.
Hi. Yeah, honey, volcanoes. Sorry, now you can hear my kid too. I thought it was 600 in a rolling 6-month period is what I was told when I joined.
Me too.
Okay,
I've never heard 400 in 3 months before.
That's not for the career plan. That's for you personally to keep your active status to be able to get your discount and still be an active chocolatier. But for the career plan, for your chocolatiers to be counted as active, your 3 active, it's $400 in a rolling 3 months. The 606 months is just for them to have an account open with us.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good question, though. Now, does anybody have any questions now that I may have confused you even more? Okay. We'll move on then. So we understand the difference between active and qualified. And now you see the reason I talk about making 3 every month. Because if you bring 3 new in every single month, you're always going to have 3 active. Because remember, they're active their first and second month. Also, what will happen, ladies, is if you're doing 3 every single month, if you do hit a month that, let's say, I'm going to use Renee, for example, she's just been through some health issues and has had to be in the hospital, even though Renee was definitely a no excuses gal, because I'm going to send you one of these, Renee, one of these great bracelets. You can't see it. But because Renee actually promoted from her hospital bed. She actually got a recruit, she kept partying, and she made it happen. There were no excuses. But if something comes up and you've brought in 3 in March and 3 in April and 3 in May, and all of a sudden June hits, you're going to have 3 active. So you set yourself in a win-win situation, okay?
Okay.
Now that you are a team leader, you're going to also have special training opportunities with me. I would love for you first to start with Promote with Passion, because what we do in Promote with Passion is we really, it's a 6-week course on really maximizing all the tools in your business and learning how to not only use them, but to train them. It's a 1-hour class. The next one I'll be starting will be in the end of May. It's a 1-hour class. And then you have a 1-hour coaching group that goes along with it for 6 weeks. The 1-hour class is just a learning for you. It's it's not a real interactive thing. It's a teaching. The coaching group is where we get back together in a smaller group of usually about 6 to 8 people, and we discuss all the things that you learned, how you understood them, what you need help with. It's the real interactive piece, okay? So I really hope that you guys will plan to be part of that. And then from there, what most of my leaders do is from there, they want to join another coaching group so that after Promote with Passion on, so that they have a group. For example, my Wednesday at 11 o'clock coaching group right now, they were all in the same Promote with Passion class together. And they enjoyed learning from each other so much that they kept their group together. And now every other week we have a 1-hour coaching group. So I hope that that will be on your radar. And it's really not about what I'm going to teach you. It's what you're going to learn and share with each other that's so beneficial. There, you know, back to the keys for your personal business is making sure that you're holding those parties every single week. Unless you're on vacation, you never want to have a week without a party. And the reason is when you bring in a new chocolatier, you want to have a place to train them. And if you have 0 parties on your calendar, guess what they're going to think? Oh, you must not need to hold parties very often because she doesn't have any for me to go train on. You want to have training parties on your calendar every single week, and hopefully 2 to 3 so you can give them choices. If for any reason you don't have a party on your calendar and you bring in a new chocolatier, please reach out to your upline leader or someone in your area and try to see if they can, one of your chocolatiers can go on a party with them. The next thing is understanding where your group volume is coming from. I don't know if all of your leaders use the Team Up calendar, but that's a great thing to have is the Team Up calendar. It's teamup.com. Is a great source where you can have your people, your chocolatiers go in and put their parties on the calendar. So there's a lot of great things about the Team Up calendar, but there's a couple of things I want to caution you about. You don't want that to be your only way of knowing. You want to be having live communication with them. Because I will say a lot of people will put their parties on the calendar, but they're not really good about taking them off if they cancel or rearrange. So you can get a false sense of security. You can think, you know, oh, we've got 10 parties, and then find out that 5 canceled or rearranged into the next month and nobody removed them and you thought you had plenty of parties. So especially in someone's first 45 to 90 days, you want to be having at a minimum a weekly, you know, just check in with them. It doesn't have to be formal. It doesn't even have to be planned. If they're going for leadership, I would say you'd want to check in at least 2 to 3 times a week. So that you know how are your parties going, who are the 3 people you've picked out at every party to be a recruit, how many cocoa chats are you doing, when's your next party, you know, don't forget to remind your host that she can convert her party into becoming a chocolatier. These are all things that are really important to do, and understanding about your business. Be proactive. Don't do your business by chance. Do your business with intention, which means knowing these things. So that's kind of what you need to know. Now your next level you'll be shooting for will be senior team leader. And I'm going to talk to you real quick about what it takes to become a senior team leader, and then what it takes to become a manager. And then once you get to those levels, we'll talk about what it takes to get to the next level. So to become a senior team leader, you need to have 4 personal active recruits. Oh, let me go back to what personally recruited is also. So when we talk about 3 personally recruited active chocolatiers. So right now, the word personally recruited is going to make a lot of sense because you're going to be bringing in your own people. But a year from now, you might have someone that decides they don't want to do the business any longer, but they had someone underneath them. And so that person quits the business, and that person, the second leg down, the second level down, rolls up and becomes a first level. That does not make them personally recruited. Now you get all the same pay on them as a first level pay, but when you're meeting the career plan standards of 3 active chocolatiers as a leader, 4 active chocolatiers as a senior leader, and 5 active chocolatiers as a manager, that does not make them personally recruited just because they're on your first level. You have to personally recruit them. Now, on occasion, I will be assigning new recruits that come in direct to home office. And a couple of you have experienced that already, where I've assigned a chocolatier to you. If I assign them, they were direct to home office, they do count as personally recruited. because they never had another sponsor. Home office isn't a sponsor. So you are their sponsor if I assign them to you from that. But if they are a roll up, they're still a level 1. You get all the same pay, but they do not count as personally recruited. Okay? Does anybody have any questions around that?
Now that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about some fun stuff. Perk of rank. That's fun too, growing your business. Oh, I was telling you, I forgot. I was telling you first about getting to senior team leader. So to become a senior team leader, you need 4 personally recruited active chocolatiers. Okay. You also need, instead of just 600 in personal volume, you need 800 in personal volume. They need 1 team leader. And so if you have a team leader qualified under you, that means that team leader sold 1,500 in personal volume, group volume, right? So then your total group volume needs to be 4,000. So we're moving it up a little, but it includes the 1,500 of that team leader and the 800 of you personally. But again, if you're holding 2 parties a week, 2 to 3 parties a week, you could actually, if you have 1,500 and all you need then is another 2,500, you'll sell that yourself. And again, I'm a believer in owning that. Own that PV. Own that difference. That way you know every month you're getting paid when your team leader qualifies. So you need 1 team leader, 4 personally recruited active chocolatiers, a minimum, and that is a minimum of $800 in volume. That is not, you never shoot for minimums, you shoot for maximums, you shoot for what I call it, abundance, and then a total of $4,000 in group volume. Does that make sense to everybody, or do you have questions about that?
Is that per month?
Yes, each month to get your pay. And as a team leader, you get paid 5% on your first level. So everybody you personally recruit, you make 5% of their wholesale volume. As a team leader, you make 5% on that first level, and you make 4% on that second level. So you make it on 2 levels when you become a team leader. When you become a senior team leader, you make 5% on the first level, 4% on the second level, and 4% on the third level. Okay? So that's what a senior team leader gets. Now, when you become a manager, what's really cool is you make 5% on the first, 4% on the second, 10% on the third, but then you make an additional 3% on everybody, including yourself. So if you're at the 40% level, you're making 43%. On your first level, you're making 5 plus 3, you're making 8%. On your second level, you make 4 plus 3. On your third level, you make 4 plus 3. And on every level to infinity underneath, you make 3%. That is huge. That's where the money really starts rolling in. Could you see that happening?
Yes.
So that's a lot. So you think about, if your team sells $10,000 on that first level, which is 75, or let me do a little bit different one. Your team sells, it's a wholesale volume, about around 13.5. Then that means your wholesale volume is $10,000, and you were making 8% on that. That's $800. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure you realize getting to manager is a big leap in your income. You've taken one step. Your next big leap is getting to manager, and that's why you want to get those 2 team leaders promoted right away and stay focused. And, think about it. If your team's selling, if you're making 800 there and you're selling 3,200 because you're maxing out the career plan each month, and you're making 43% of 3,200, that's close to $1,500. So now you are making an income on just you and your first level, that didn't count your second and third, of $2,300. So that way, that's why most of our managers make, the average income of a manager is around 2,000. Now, some make a lot more than that because they have bigger teams and more leaders and sell more. Last month, I'll give you an example. Becky Grant sold $10,000. 43% of that is $4,300 on her own personal volume. So her team sold 28,000. So if you take her 10 out, she made either 8, 7, 7, or 3% on the rest of that $18,000. So she probably made about $7,000 last month. How many of you would like to be making about $7,000 a month?
I would love to.
Isn't that great? So I want you to see it's very possible, but it's possible because you own it, not because you count on everybody else to get there, okay? Own it. So let's talk about your perks of rank. Perk, number one I'm going to talk to you about is your key necklace. So any of you, Spencer, are you going to team leader training this week? Let me take you off mute. Are you going to team leader training?
Yes, I am.
Great. So Spencer,
Yes, I am.
you're going to receive, Spencer, you look beautiful. I'm going to put you back on mute because we get background. You're going to get your beautiful key necklace presented to you by John Wyckoff, our president. He's the only one that can present that. The rest of you will get those at national convention, or that unless you see him before then, he comes to a meeting that you're at or something other than that. John is the only person that can present your key necklace to you, and because he really believes that the key to our business is leader promotion. Then, as for every 3 leaders that you promote, you get a star to go on your necklace. And then the necklaces get nicer. They go from silver, I think, to gold and to platinum. They're really beautiful as you fill them. You also are eligible for me to continue to assign corporate recruits. It's not common for me to assign corporate recruits to a non-leader, unless it's an unusual situation, but I do have that override. I can do that. You've got a new part to your website. I don't know if you've scrolled down yet or not, but there's a leader training website part to your website that you have access to be able to pull training from and to have that there, with them. You've also qualified for your first free trip to team leader training, which Spencer's going to this week. We pay for your room, we pay for the training fees, and we also pay for all your meals while you're there. And one of the highlights is the chefs cook for you while you're there. So that's very, very exciting. And you get to meet all the staff. You go do a tour of the office. It's a very small office, but you get to meet all the staff and see where everybody is and who you're talking to on the phone. And it's just a great engagement. You're going to absolutely love it. Does anybody have any questions about the perks that we just talked about?
No.
And by the way, another big perk of getting to manager before conference is that you get to go to a special manager training. And at PLC, and I don't know if it will do this at conference or not, but at PLC, it was a whole manager day. And so they got to come in a day before, and they actually got to go to a night out on the town in Nashville, and special events and special training and a special speaker that no one else got to have. And it's a really great perk to have. The next thing that we want to talk about is staying in good contact with your upline leader. Support is there. Make sure you're talking frequently. They're your best contact. I am here to be with you and to help you. So I want you to make sure that you're being part of that. Make sure you participate with them locally for team meetings if they are local and you would like to be part of that. You might engage with them on their internet, their Facebook groups, and that type of thing. Those are other ways that you want to engage with your upline. Your personal business development. Make sure, remember this is a business. I know we all have, other things that we do, and that's one of the benefits to being part of this is business is doing it around our families, but it is a business. So make sure your voicemail is professional. If you want to just use your cell phone so that you don't have all your home stuff. I know some people like to have like their children on their voicemail and that type of thing at home, and that's fun and I love it. But for your business, it's not real professional, because you may think it's fun and cute, but we're dealing with all different personalities. Present yourself and always be dressed as a leader when you're part of things. That's another important thing, is that you are doing that as well, that you're always look the part. You also want to make sure that, that you're an ambassador for the business. Just a second. Also, let's see here. Go to the source. If you are have an issue, make sure that you go to the source. Okay. So, for example, if you have a broken product or you're having problems with the website, don't put out there, "Hey, is anybody having this problem?" Because you don't know who the next person is going to see that. It might be let's say, Spencer, you have a brand new team member and they've not even held their first party, and they're on the Facebook group, and they see a chocolatier put, "Oh, I got my order in today and my barbecue sauce was broken." That's going to give your new chocolatier, you don't even know this person, and they've just given your chocolatier reason for concern. And here's the thing. Nobody can fix it on Facebook. So go to the source. Just email or call field services. This happens 1% or less of the time out of all the orders that we have. But you want to make sure that you are, that you're going to the source. If you're having a hard time booking parties, don't put out on Facebook, "I'm having a hard time booking parties." Because here's another thing, ladies. It might be your next recruit that's looking at that, or someone that you're trying to recruit. Go to the source, call someone and say, "Look, I'm really struggling booking parties." Or if you do want to get other ideas, just say, "Who's got some great ideas for booking parties? I'm going to be booking parties later today and I'd like to try them." That's just a way of rewording your issue that makes it just sound more fun and that it's not an issue. You just don't want people out there seeing that you're having problems, because that's going to discourage them in the business. And it might discourage them from trying the business. We all know you're going to have issues. If you don't, you're not human. I've been doing this 26 years and, I can still have issues. But I don't want others. We want them to see the big benefit and work one-on-one. And we're not trying to lead people astray. But it's just like if the person out there can't fix it, and someone going, "Oh, me too, I'm having problems," and someone else going, "Yeah, me too," then everybody that's looking at our business is going, "Oh, that business must be really hard. I don't want to do that." Or it gives that person that was really trying hard an excuse to go, "Well, I'm going to quit trying because everybody says it's really hard." So make sure you're going to the source. Be an ambassador of your business. Here's a suggestion. It's not a have to, but I'll be honest with you guys. I have 2 Facebook pages, not a business page. I have 2 personal Facebook pages. I have my Dove. I have one where I interact with all of you, and it does not have all my personal family and friends on it. But it's my page where I have all my business friends on it, people I do business, hosts, recruits, my team members, guests, that type of thing. I'm going to post more often on that about my Dove business. Not only about my Dove, I want everyone to see that part of the fun of social media is doing fun things and helping each other. I have an app that I use called it's called the Neighborhood app. I don't know if any of you guys use it. It's a really cool app. And there was a lady the other day that put on there that she had a friend who had a little girl that was looking for either for a puppy, and she wanted either a lab, a shepherd, or a lab shepherd mix. And I just happened to read it because it pops up in my news feed. Well, yesterday I was at a garage sale, and this is like the day after, and this man said, "Y'all want a puppy?" And I go, "No, I don't want a puppy." And he goes, then I overheard him talking to the people that were other people that were there, and he goes, "Yeah, I've got some lab shepherd mix puppies." And I went, "Oh my goodness, there was just a lady on the neighborhood app yesterday that said she was looking for a lab, a shepherd, or a lab shepherd mix female." And he goes, "I've got 2 females left." And so to me, that's what social media is supposed to be about. It's a way to engage and share and have fun. It's not a way to gripe and complain and that type of thing. No one enjoys reading that. My husband's a softball coach, and I have to tell you, there are people that will literally block because all they do is gripe and complain, and it's never their fault and all of that. People don't want to do business with that, but they love to see you interact socially, and they love to, hear what fun things you're doing, what festivals you're going to. It shows people that you can do this job around other activities. If you're using your regular page for business, you never want to put out there, "I'm looking for parties." If you're looking for parties, that must not mean they're very much fun. If you're looking for parties, you might want to go to them personally and ask. That's the best way. But some fun things to do is like Jen Fitzgerald, if she's not your friend on Facebook, friend her. She's very good at this. She does things like I'm looking for 7 taste testers for tomorrow night. If she wants to put in a party quick, she'll say, "I'm looking for 7 taste testers tomorrow night at my house. We're going to be trying this." And she'll have the product, that we're trying. Plus, of course, I'm going to treat you to a lot of other fun products. Who wants to be my taste tester for this brand new product? What is that? That's a party. She just did it in a fun way. And so she has everybody come over, and she always say, "I'm limiting it to 7, but she'll let 12 come, of course." She just wants to create urgency, right? And that's a fun way to do it. Or, she might put out there, "Chocolate oatmeal's what's for breakfast this morning," and show herself eating chocolate oatmeal. Who else would love to be eating chocolate oatmeal for breakfast? Or what are you having for breakfast? And then someone's going to say, "Where do you get chocolate oatmeal?" That's a way to promote your business where it doesn't feel like you're hounding people about it, but you're engaging with them, and it makes it really, really fun. If you're having an issue in your business, only go up, meaning talk to your upline leader, your upline manager, your field development manager. Don't talk ever side to side with other, like if you're a leader, you shouldn't be talking to other leaders about it. You should be talking up. You definitely should never tell your chocolatiers. So if your chocolatier calls and says, "I'm having a problem booking parties," you never want to go, "Oh yeah, me too." That's not the right answer. The right answer is you might be having a problem, and that's okay. But you want to say, "Well, let's talk about what you're doing and how we can resolve that." And you know what you're going to find? You're going to find that a lot of times you resolve your own issue. Because through talking it through them and helping them find a solution, you're going to find your own solution. And that's what's really important, is that we take that and, and we manage that up, but we always help. The best thing to do when someone says they're having a problem with something is not to try to solve it for them, but to ask questions. I have on my wall, and my desk is a real mess, so I'm kind of embarrassed to show this. Well, none of you can see it anyway. Well, yeah, Barb can. I can't turn my computer. It's plugged in. But anyway, I have on my wall, I have 5 real bright 6 neon 4x6 cards. And on one it says how, on the other it says what, when, where, and who. And then in the middle it says these are the questions. And it reminds me that when I'm talking to someone to not tell them what to do, but to ask them questions. So I'll say, "Well, tell me, what are you doing when you're booking parties? How are you asking? Where did you meet them? Who are you talking to?" That helps them to say, okay, now they can start to thinking about, when they say, "How are you asking?" They say, "Well, I'm just saying, do you want to have a party?" Well, that's a word you'll learn when you come through Promote with Passion. You never say. You totally take that sentence out of your vocabulary. You never say, "Do you want to have a party?" or "Do you want to join my team?" Why? Because it's easy to just go, no. You want to say, "What would you do with extra money?" How would your family feel if you were able to bring in an extra $200 a month to go towards your family vacation? If you were to do something like this, when would be the best time for you to do your parties, weekends or evenings? Oh my gosh, it sounds like it's a perfect fit for you. Let's get you signed up. Because you're getting them involved. You're asking open-ended questions. And so keep those questions: how, what, when, who, and where. You can use why, but why is a little more, sometimes it feels challenging. Well, why did you do that? No, that's hard. So tell me what you did is better than why did you do that? What results were you looking for when you did that? Way different than, that's another way of saying, why did you do that? Because why can feel a little attacking. So be careful using why. And we'll get into more of that as we work together and talk about it. So next is, that's a lot about our personal business development and training. Again, make sure you're offering Kickoff to Quick Start. Now, there's a lot of ways to use Kickoff to Quick Start. First off, a lot of our manager teams offer it for the entire team. And they do it like one night a week or 2 nights a week. And you can bring your new chocolatiers to that Kickoff to Quick Start. Some choose to do it one-on-one, and that is great until you recruit 6 people in 1 week. And then you go, oh, holy moly, how am I going to do that? I've got 6 hours of training I got to do, and I don't have time for it. So that's why offering it. So as a leader, what I would do is I would put maybe 2 times on my schedule right now. So let's say you choose 2 times in the week that you could do training, and block out 2 hours, whether you use it for Kickoff to Quick Start or just training on something else like hostess coaching or building the sale or what have you, if your team doesn't offer something like that already. So let's say you're going to choose Monday nights and Saturday morning. And so when someone joins the business, you can say, let's say they join on Thursday, and say our next Kickoff to Quick Start training, which is your most important training, is Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. I like to do things early. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do it in the evening, Friday night at 5, whatever works for you. But then the company also offers it at 1 o'clock Eastern, at 8 o'clock Eastern on Tuesdays. So if you have 2 time slots and the office has 2 time slots, that new chocolatier has no reason for not getting on that Kickoff to Quick Start in their very first week. And that's so imperative. That's like, I always tell people, nothing in this business is really mandatory, but I do call our Kickoff to Quick Start mandatory, because you know what? I want you to be successful, and the best way to be successful is to be trained well. And this is the starting of it all. And it's going to answer so many questions in a 1-hour session. Again, make sure that you get yourself involved in the next Promote with Passion. Then join in on the coaching groups, and after that, stay involved in a coaching group. The leaders that are the most successful, so I'm looking at all 3 of you. All 3 of your leaders are in a coaching group with me. And guess what? Isn't it interesting that you're the 3 that are on this call today? You see the value. You've been promoted. You have a strong upline leader. Angie's in a group with me on Wednesday. Kelly's in a group with me on Thursdays, and Becky's in a group with me on Tuesdays. So all of you have a strength, and that is great. It's like having good parents, isn't it?
Yeah.
A great example set. And by the way, you guys have good grandparents also. Y'all have great, great legacies of people around you, which is really, really awesome. And also make all company events a priority. Go ahead now. If you have to hold, if you want to do 2 parties a week to pay your bills, do a 3rd party a week, every week from now to July, and put that money away so you can make sure you're going to national conference. If you've never been to one, I cannot explain to you, but your business, when I went to my first conference is when I decided 26 years ago, it was probably about this time, it was in April 26 years ago, that I wanted to make this my career. And I've never looked back. And my income has done, the whole time I was an independent, it did nothing but steadily grow to where my best year, everybody always wants to know what was your best year, where I made close to $500,000. And so you can make it happen. It's just all about committing to the process and sticking to it and trusting that none of us are ever going to tell you anything that's going to lead you astray. You know, I tell people they can do this part-time, full-time, or big time. If you want to do this business big time, that's why I talk about doing 3 parties a week. You can't hit big time doing 1 party a week. I'm just going to be honest. But we're never going to lead you astray because it hurts our business if we do. And everything I teach you and everything your upline leaders share with you and train you, because they are your best source or your most connected source as that upline leader, is it's something someone else taught them and has been successful with. And that's the great thing about this business. I am not going to tell y'all that I'm the know-all be-all. I'm the know-all copier-all, because I copy everything that everybody else does it successfully. And that's what has made me successful. Not doing it Laurie's way, but doing it the proven way. I do want to let you know, there's a couple of things in your back office. If you, a lot of people, as you start to build a larger team, one thing that I'm going to encourage you guys to do is to make sure that every single morning you go into your back office, you go to track team performance, and you may want to write this down. Go into your back office, go to track team performance. To the far right, there's a drop-down screen that says tree, and if it drops down, it says list. You want to open that up in a list view, so click on list, and it's going to take your team, because when you're in a tree view, all you're going to see are your first levels, okay? You're only going to see your front line. Then you have to click on the box next to them to open the box, to open the box, to open the box, to get down into their downline. And that's good to see how your, what's my word? Like your genealogy is set, and that was not the word I was looking at, your structure is. But if you want to see everybody in your list that's in your team, no matter what level they're on, you go to that list view, okay? Then you're going to go scroll to the right. You're going to open up show hide filters up at the top, and you're going to scroll to the right, and you're going to click on app date, meaning application date. And I think you click on it twice, and then it's going to get your list into who came in most recently. So you can check every morning to see if you had a recruit anywhere in your complete organization. And then you want to pick up the phone and you want to call them and welcome them to your team, no matter who recruited them, and let them know that you're the upline leader, and tell them about your upline manager and that you're here to support them. And then what I do is I have a stack of cards. I go to the Dollar Tree, 2 for $1, get little welcome cards or congratulations cards, and I put a card in the mail. That way, everybody feels welcome, and no one can ever say, I didn't know who to call, or no one ever reached out to me. And then if you do that and you teach everybody on your team to do that, someone 3 levels down is getting a call from 3 different people, which is really nice. Hey, I just want to call out, you know how excited we are to have you on our team. Wouldn't that feel good if you got 3 phone calls?
Yeah.
And they're not asking you to do anything. They're just saying welcome, and I'm here to support you. And then all of a sudden, within the next week or so, you get 3 cards in the mail. That's why I just keep them on my desk. It takes 30 seconds to do it. I can even write them at the beginning of the week, all of them for the week. Dear so-and-so, so glad you joined our team. We're going to have so much fun together building this business. I'm always here to help. Give me a call. Have a great day, Renee. You know, so you could write 10 at a time, and then all you got to do is write their name at the top, address the front, walk to the mailbox. That's it. So they've gotten a phone call, and this is a great way. I'm a real believer that you have to, it's really important to build relationships, and relationships are different than friendships. Relationships just let people know you care, and that you're there for them for the specific reason that you're together. Friendships are all encompassing. You know, you're there for them at every point in your life. As in a relationship, you're there for their business part. You need to know the things that are going to affect their business. You don't need to know if their great aunt Susie Jones, you know, stubbed her big toe last night. But in a friendship, you might. But in a relationship, you're building this business thing. But, you know, friendships do come from relationships. So That's one thing. Another great tool to use is also when you open up in that list view. A lot of people don't know this. I'm just giving you a little technology lesson here. And you open up to right by that, there's a thing that says expand all. Above it, it says expand all. If you click on the expand all button while you're in the list view and let it reload, then you go to export. You can export a list. So if you want to send, like you'll get their name, their email, the state they live in, who recruited them. So let's say as you build your team, you're going to be going to Florida for vacation and you've got a team in Florida that you'd like to see. You can open that list and just sort and filter. And if y'all don't know how to do that, I can teach you because I am not a technology person. I can even teach you how to do that. Filter out just the Florida emails and send just the Florida people an email. Or you can do that and get everyone's email address and just copy and paste one big list, pop it in the blind copy part of your email, and send an email to your entire team without individually putting in each email. Does that make sense to everybody, or do you have any questions on that?
Makes sense.
Good. Anybody else? All right. So that is what I have for you guys today. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I have one question. You know how last month we had the flash sale?
Yes?
Sorry, I'm losing my voice still. Is that every month or?
No, flash sales can happen. A lot of times they'll happen around holidays. Sometimes if we have high inventory, they'll just throw one in. So yeah, it's not on a regular basis. It's kind of like that fun surprise thing. Here, go run with this. That's why it's a flash.
Okay.
That was a good question. Anybody else have questions? All right, you guys. Well, thanks so much for getting up with me early on a Saturday morning. And I will be traveling next week, so the best way to reach me, I will not be as close to my email, so text is probably the very best way. Make sure you have my phone number in your phone, 817-217-7103, or phone. It's always great. I do get on Facebook quite a bit when I'm traveling, and I do check my email every day. But if you need me, kind of fast, I usually can check my text more often throughout the day when I'm traveling. I'll be in meetings Monday and Monday I'll be actually physically traveling, and then I'll be at team leader training Monday night, and or having dinner with you guys and be in the office on Tuesday, and then I will be in an all-day meeting on Wednesday, and then traveling, and I'll be working in New Jersey, down near the Atlantic City area, and on Wednesday and Thursday. So, but I'll have time during the day to do anything that you guys need me to do to help out, okay? So, thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have found this helpful.
We did. I did.
Great. Spencer, it was great meeting you. I just took you off mute. Barb, I'm glad to have you on. I hope you guys found it helpful.
Yeah, buddy, it's snowing. Thanks for telling them.
All right.
It's snowing. Pennsylvania's great.
Oh, gosh. I won't tell you that it's supposed to be 80 degrees in Dallas today.
No.
All right. Well, you guys have a good day, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye.